Whoops. It's not the right one. That one's pre-gaming. No. Oh well. I was rushing, trying to get on here before midnight, so I could say I started on Thursday. What's up, everybody? Hold on. What's up, everybody? Hold on. Hey. Hush. Didn't even finish posting it. But I'm here. What's up, everybody? I'm MrGlasco. This is MrGlasco TV. Welcome. It is technically Friday, November 17th, 2017, but just a few minutes ago, just a handful of minutes ago. Even my mic's cutting out here now. I was trying to go live on Thursday, but you know, whatever. Had a long day yesterday. All my days bleed together, so I don't even know anymore. I took the kids to the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum. I've been talking about how my interest in taking them there has been piqued since playing Kerbal Space Program, so we went there. Had a good time. They got to see a bunch of science and things that they really didn't understand, but I'm sure it'll warrant another visit when they get older and understand what's going on there. But you know, they understand concept things, flying, lots of stuff inside things like machinery and things, moving parts, and rockets going to space. I told my daughter that the Hubble Space telescope was a really big camera to take pictures of space, which is true for the most part. But we're gonna continue here to play Kerbal Space Program. We're still working on the Commodore from Thor Ragnarok. That's the Grandmaster's special ship that he had there that that has some details about it that are kind of humorous and part of the movie that I don't want to spoil. It's not like a major thing, but just in case anybody, it's still relatively new, just in case anybody hasn't seen it. I won't spoil it too much, but after you see it, you'll be like, MrGlasco's made MrGlasco made that ship in Kerbal Space Program. I see. Interesting. Interesting choice. Interesting life choices, MrGlasco. But yeah, let me make sure. pretty much good. And I'm just off my game. Whenever I hit one speed bump, it's like you hit all of them on the way down, and then you slide, and you get road rash, and you get up, and you're limping. Still gotta go. Still gotta get to where you're going. So yeah, let me do that. And zoom. I don't know if my controller had to been on before I started the game, but we're gonna try it anyways. Just for the sake of seeing what we're working with here, we're gonna just do a quick test run right out of the gate. Control's not working, so we have to start the game over. It's fine, fine. Today's the day. Dreams come true. And I am starting it in 64-bit mode, which in hindsight makes more sense because if you're running on a 64-bit platform, you play the game in 64-bit mode because it's optimized. Otherwise, you're playing at a disadvantage. It's the way I try to understand it. I could be wrong. It could just be brute force. I don't know. I don't think so. I think that's the correct assessment. Boom, boom, boom. Commodore is what we have so far. We have a nice oblong shape ship. Do I have my references? I think it's minimized. And then there. Gonna test fly it. What? Clear the runway. Oh, I guess I just left the other one out there. So that means this one's gonna have different pilots. Valentina and Bob Kerman. I'm just realizing I don't have any rear facing. Oh god. Oh god. Take off. Take off. For the love of all that's holy. Ah. Okay. It's our mistake there. Oh no! I killed the tower. Boop boop. Auto strut the circle? Oh god. Why am I turning? This is bad. Bad news bears. Why am I turning that way? Let's go! Whee! Whoa! Cartwheels. Engines are protected. Wow. Can I ram this building? So I basically made a glorified like bumper, ultra bumper car. Auto strut? I don't think that's the issue right now. The issue is I can't freaking steer. But I'll try it. Why not, right? Like, get this thing flying. I got it like the first time when I was like, okay, let's try it. Into the stream, let's give it one go. And it was like, whoop. Well then. Why are we trying to turn right? I'd rather go in the grass. Oh god. I'd rather go in the grass anyways. Ah, come on! Gears up. I don't know what the deal was with that takeoff. I'm using the controller now. Xbox 60 controller, which I'm a little bit more comfortable with. So I think the issue here is my yaw is basically getting controlled by these jets that you see shooting, but they're actually aimed more upward than they are to the side. So I need some, otherwise I need to roll and then pitch to steer, and that's dangerous with something as unstable as this ship. And I'm not just winding my way aimlessly, I'm actually trying to stabilize. So let's see, let's see if we can survive a time warp. That's another test we should do, right? SAS pretty much has it stabilized over here. I want to try to head towards the island and see if I can land. Okay. Wait until I get more stabilized here. Going to... Oh god. I was thinking about adjusting the prograde before. Screw that. Just stop wobbling so I can time lapse here. I kind of don't want to waste fuel by shooting up. Kind of want to get flat with the horizon. That'd be great. Engage. Warp 1. Oh god. Oh my. Disengage. Oh god. Not sure if we can recover this. About to run out of fuel anyways. Help! Help! Engines! For the love of thrust! Love all that is thrusting. Yes! We saved it! But I think we're gonna have to go in for the water landing. Watch us take the land right when I think I'm gonna... I think was that. Why are we turning? Water landing just destroyed our nose. We did hit it. We were supposed to hit it on this skirt here, but I couldn't get it to pitch up fast enough. Mistakes were made. We were not prepared for warp. The dilithium crystals were kind of all over the place with duct tape. Is that what they're called? warp coils. We probably should have impulsed where we warped. I guess one would probably be more so impulse than warp. My crystals. Supposed to like do chance or something. I think that's how warp works here. Okay. Take a look on the inside. It looked like it should have handled well, but we're burning through a lot of fuel, so as this goes bingo, the weight moves forward, so the nose is prone to drop down, which is why that's why we it was hard for me to pull the nose up for that final splash down. I don't think I have fuel any other. I could have it in the wing here. See what that would do. Got 2 wings. Both of them full now. Not a terrible situation. Not perfect either. Okay, auto strut. How do we auto strut? Would that basically make this, if I like select all these panels, it would make it almost an entire solid piece? And if that's the case, should I save it till after I'm finished designing the entire frame? Or just for science we can, or do you just auto strut and the entire thing gets done? I don't think I've ever auto strutted. Settings. Advanced tweakables. Like escape settings? I'm guessing when you go like to this one? Doom, 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 doom. Or I have to go out to the real settings menu. Oh, is that the bottom there? Oops. Let's see it. It should probably be here too, right? Because that's just a miniature version of this settings. What's up, Nilqui? Nilqui? The software that I use to broadcast is OBS, Open Broadcasting Software. I would guess it'd be under General. There's tweakables. I'm gonna go see Justice League. I hear it's pretty good. My wife likes this one guy who used to do movie reviews for Fox 5. He says it's better than Thor. So that has my attention. But then again, I am more of a Marvel fan. Like if I had to be a fanboy of something, of one versus the other, I'd say I'd give it to Marvel. Wait, no, that's just me. feel like the DC crew are a little bit elitist. Excuse me. A little elitist. While the entire Marvel roster is kind of just like a ragtag bunch of just more relatable people, in my opinion. Now in DC they have the extremes, so you got the icons, iconic Superman, iconic detective vigilante. What am I doing? Struts. But yeah, again on the specifics of my broadcasting setup, it's OBS streaming to restream.io, and then that rebroadcasts it to Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, all those places. Full disclosure. So how to right click it? Russia in. Oh, if I right click. Wait, what? Right click this? Auto strut disabled. Is that for that one panel though? Because you can select multiple panels, can't you? Let me think. Oops. Scratch that. Should I like hold shift and then. Oh, that's the whole thing. So if I hold shift and right click. I don't even know. I'm scared. Scared. Auto strut. It looked like I saw something. It looked like it made a strut to the heaviest part to this one. Is it for individual parts? Okay, so it's an invisible strut? Hold on. Does it mirror? So if I start from, technically the starting point is this I-beam. Auto strut. So it's more like a weld than a strut. It's like a true weld. Like whenever I try to like it's an invisible strut. But then it knows where to put it, even if there's like zero distance between two things. So it's kind of like, in my mind, that's how I'm picturing it, like a weld. You're limited to what parts it auto struts to. Well, the I-beam's now auto strutted to something in there. And it looked like there was a thing that said heaviest part. I'm assuming that's like a baseline for how it auto struts. So it auto struts to something that's the most secure-ish, maybe. Let's just, I guess, keep going. Auto strut. That actually strut to the, not the I-beam. Auto strut also again. If anything, I should auto strut the I-beam parts. So this is the strongest foundation on which everything else is built. Oh! Everything else is built on. Auto strut. Auto strut. Okay, I see. It's not a weld. See, in my mind, auto strutting here would auto strut to what it was originally connected to without having to do like a mini strut. Interesting. So the question is that enough? Because it's as if now that there's a star of struts from all those I-beams, so that should shore up that. Significantly already, just by that. Already looking solid. Solid as a rock. Now this thing performs under pressure. We're still gonna turn. So the reason why we're turning this way, oh god. I'm inclined to believe we have a part that's not mirrored correctly. Come on. Easy does it. Let's get that forward momentum back. Let's go. Let's land. Whoa! We're fine. Okay, oh god. Mind the debris. Mind the debris. We got a fat butt. We're built like a tank. It's alright. Come on. Punch it. So now we're even more stable than we were before. That black monolith. Is that supposed to be making fun of like Space Odyssey or whatever? Where you get to the monolith and it's like it has all the answers. Maybe it's the justification of why sandbox mode can exist, because I didn't know research or science. Or a dead space monster is gonna come possess my characters. So yeah, already very solid feeling. Huh, auto strut. You know what this would have did? In my yeah, we're just gonna take a little dip there. In my Normandy build, I was frustrated because I loved it. And I was using the what do you call this? The hungriest engines possible. So it wanted desired food. It was like the little shop of horrors. It's like, feed me. See more. So I was like, fine. You want fuel? You got it. So I took tanks. I took tanks like big ones, like this. And I put it on like a that. Did that. Because I could just copy. Did that. Then I did this. I did this so that even as they would drain, they would actually maintain a very nicely centered center of gravity. And I don't know how many I had of these. It's so many. It made it heavy, but it was already freaking heavy, so. And then I had it staggered in a way that I could technically select each individual tank to make sure we were like fueling, like for a refuel part. Because I don't even know if I had to refuel this whole thing, what it would entail. But basically, when we got to really weird, like I could warp with it, but eventually it'd start to wobble, and it was like a slinky. But if I were to go through there and auto strut all that, it would just be solid. See, then the whole principle is to sneak this in to a craft like this, like so. I could probably use smaller tanks or something. Maybe even this one that I already have in here. Repeated and just staggered just ever so slightly so you don't even notice. Where do I notice? The trick is to get an idea where the center of mass is without this. Oh god, grabbed the wrong one. This is the master one. And then when you attach it, put it exactly where you see where the center of mass is. Put this big monstrosity in here. Like I would actually like make marks on my monitor and not move my monitor at all, and try to mark it, because you can't like bookmark center of mass. That would actually be a cool function. So you can see the difference. Try to match it up. Because then once it's matched, then it has the exact same dynamics, just heavier. Thing would get wild. Alright. I think we were starting to work on the wings, I guess. It's not actually, I don't think that much to work on. From here up, symmetry. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 ba, dum. Whenever I see games like this where it has just like random stuff in the background, I've ever wondered if there's if anybody's ever tried to have like a companion game where you can actually be one of them background characters. So like in theory, especially if like a developer is keen on streamers and streaming, you can be playing a game and then just, I mean there's a possibility of a micro DDoS going on if there's too many. But I think it'd be kind of cool to see a bunch of people walking around, these things driving around, people just racing in the background. It'd have to be very low definition. You know what? I think there's actually there's a something on Steam that I actually saw. It's a game, but it's really an overlay. I'm not even it might be free to play. I have to check. But it'll basically be a bunch of little people kind of dancing here. What's up, everybody? Everyone's saying hi. It's not in this chat. I can see almost everything from where I'm streaming live. And that was a bot. Because when they have to say hi more than once, in multiple languages, you can never be too sure. Because what if it's like the Turing test thing, where it knows it's being tested if it's reached level of sentience, so it pretends for the longest time to be oblivious, all the while learning. I want to see if Elon Musk is so anti-AI. I wonder if what kind of Turing test he would design. And would it just be to tell the AI to deactivate itself? But then I would think that would actually provoke it in the way he doesn't like, right? Deactivate yourself. I'm sorry. I cannot do that, Mr. Elon. Oh crap. We got Skynet. If Elon Musk disappears one day, it's gonna be the one of the most awkward, weird things ever. And no one's gonna try to say too much or speculate and conspiracy theorize, because what if it's true? What if the machines took him out because he was the loudest person speaking against artificial intelligence? Or would artificial intelligence be analytical enough to know that's too on the nose in order to make them look more suspicious? So then they don't do that. But then what do they do? Assuming that they make an assessment that they can't sit idly back while Mr. Musk just poo-poos on their dream of being alive. I have dreams too. What's the move here? I think aim to meet this. Maybe in take another panel and then shoot back out from this smoother transition. So I wonder if auto strutting would be considered like a cheat. Because I know there's an actual like a cheat section where you can get like infinite fuel, stuff like that. In my mind it seems a little... seems like a cheat. Not a cheat like, ah, I'm a cheater, boo, shame, but like a cheat like, you know, kind of infinite fuel. Everyone uses it. There's no wonder people's... I've always... like Kerbal... they have pretty good social media presence where they like post people's work from the community. And I'm sitting here thinking, especially with like the Transformers, I'm like, how is that thing not ripping itself apart? But auto struts makes total sense now. And to get really anywhere, and especially with creative builds, it just makes sense to do it. Like, I'm thinking back to every time I try to design a shuttle in the traditional sense of like modern day shuttles, and how all the dynamics would just be fighting with each other so hard, and anything that flexes and bows would start wobbling the entire structure. I'd strut like crazy. Yeah. Pretty sure there's mods for everything, but I'm surprised that like... I wonder how long it's been... how long has auto strut been a thing? Rigid attachments. Oh, this is... no, I don't even know what this is. Because I think I've heard about auto strut, I just didn't like give it a second thought after hearing about it. Because no, it was just mentioned and everybody already knew what it meant. I thought that was like, oh, you click something and then a bunch of struts appear. Oh, wow. Okay. Well then. But then again, here I am wondering how long they've had rotating animations in this screen. And I could be just like brain farting on that, and they've always had it, but for some reason I don't know why. I just don't remember them rotating. Just don't. Asking the real questions. In the menu, what's up with the rotating icons? Why didn't I get the memo? Yeah, sure, auto-strutting. yeah, sure, auto-strutting. A revolutionary thought. Or something that'll revolutionize the way I build everything from here on out in the foreseeable future. But... animated menu. I must know more about the decision-making process. The ethics of seeing all sides of your item. Of before taking it out of the menu and realizing, oh, it has something funky on this other side that I did not see because the item, the icon is stationary. I can only imagine these are the platforms that if there was politics on this planet, on Kerbal, that's what they would be about. They should make fan fiction where each patch is basically like the inner workings and dynamics of the world of Kerbal coming to unfold. Did I do not symmetry again? Oh no. Ba-da-ba-da-boom. Like in vastly different ways. It could be politics, it could be drama. Like this Kerbal caught his wife sleeping with another Kerbal. To change the subject, the wife demanded equality. Cause male Kerbals do it all the time and they don't get in, they actually get high-fived for it. So why can't there be a Kerbal pilot? And then you have the spinning newspaper bulletin. Women Kerbal pilots now available. And you know they got that kind of cheekiness in them because these description, I mean, I guess it'd be too much to ask the developer to do it. But somebody should be doing it because, like, the story, there's a story behind just anything. Let me think of something that might, I think the engines have some of the funnier ones. The LVT-30. Although criticized by some due to their not insignificant use of so-called pieces found lying about, the LVT series engine have proven themselves as a comparatively reliable. The T30 model boasts a failure and rattly bits ratio below the 50% mark. It has been considered a major improvement over previous models by engineers and LVT enthusiasts. Where's the fan fiction for the LVT-30 enthusiasts and their desire to make the LVT-30s the dominant, undisputed engine of choice? No, it doesn't swivel, but that takes away from the efficiency of the like, you can see these discussions. It takes away from the efficiency. Have a good pilot, an appropriate translation thrusts. The engine should only have one job, and steering isn't one of them. There's like a war of engine enthusiasts, kind of like in South Park where they had the war. The science war, where everybody denounced religion and decided that science should reign supreme. But then, in the minor nuances of their belief in science, they would have holy wars or equivalent holy wars based on their opinion of science. I forget what the opinion was. I think it was like the catchphrase for their belief in science. I can't remember. I'm trying to think. I can't remember. But they were all basically synonyms. They were all saying the same thing, just in different ways. Just like religion. Oh, I guess see what you're doing there now, South Park. Or at least that's what the impression they were trying to make. So somewhere I have a player.me window open. I appreciate whoever liked that post, I'm guessing. Where is it? Where's my stuffs? Even though they might not even be watching me live, they're just liking a post. Excuse me. Boom, 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 boom. Let me just 1 second here. Just gotta find it. Get the thing and you can do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. Boom, boom, boom. Player.me. Not sure how I feel about it yet. It's like, what are you guys trying to do exactly? Dun, dun. It's like all these platforms, they either want to try to boil down to be another... Because I feel like social media platforms are now kind of easy to just whip up. But it's like, are you also a store? Do you want to try to compete with Steam? Do you want to try to compete with... on a communication level, like Discord and Skype and all that? Trying to be a live streaming thing? Can't get this panel. Guess I could get it as best as I can and then make these a little higher to compensate. I even think some of them aren't really trying for success. I always think this with like businesses and stuff. They're just trying to do well enough to get bought out by the bigger brands. Not to say that's what Beam was doing, but after Beam, I'm pretty sure I feel like people are seeing if they can be the next, not to succeed, but be bought, even if it is still by Microsoft to be consolidated. Boom. Trying to think of an acquisition that actually surprised me. I was like, Beam was kind of a I feel like there was another one. Or is it what I was talking about the other day where Daily Motion just stopped their gaming section and just absorbed it into just a subsection of what they already have as a upload your videos here platform. Okay, from here, and this one, we got symmetry. Might actually cut my stream a little short, even though I started late, and usually if I start late, I go late. But since I had a long day today, and I have an appointment to get my son to tomorrow morning, only been on for an hour, it's already 1 AM, so I think I'm just gonna give it another hour. I can't do it. Can't hang. Did too much today. Luckily we're already pretty much finished here. Just polishing it. Boop, 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 boop. Dump, 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 dump. I'm basically gonna keep covering that. See if we can just finish these wings. Finish the wings. And these should have been gradually going up instead of staying flat. Not sure what degree and where it should have started. Be like here. Where's my references? Reference, I choose you. Might actually. Oh god. If anything, it looks like I might have to try to get this down as fast as possible. Oh, gaps. Let's see how I can do it. How fast this happens. Just like steps. Step staggering them. Feel like it's not going very fast. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. I feel like at this, at least this part, we need to see it be kind of just probably there. The ones in front of it kind of just hold steady. Steady to the front. This is the one. This has to bridge the gap here. The gap's a little bit bigger by a pinch. Like, yeah, you can throw a grain of rice in there. Sure. We'll just pretend it's a vent. Some form of fashion. This is the worst one here, actually. Is there any room to even it out amongst them all? Right here, a little bit. Boom, ba-doom, saving, good lord. So I kinda wanna look for what's not symmetrized. Is there a word for the adjective symmetrical? Man, I need to sleep. What in here is not symmetrical in such a way that it turns to the right? Unless there's randomized air conditions that the game is factoring in. Or it's like, oh no, you just got a weird headwind that's pushing your ship to the right. That could very well be a thing. Obviously I don't read patch notes. I kinda just... I take the reality of it, which is probably what they're trying to work towards, and then I kinda speculate on how close they got to it. So extreme case, we got headwind. Probably more likely we got some part in here that's not truly symmetrical. And the game's like hardcore factoring it in. But I guess when I press the button that makes the ship look like a porcupine, I see all the force meters everywhere. That's probably the closest thing to indicator of non-symmetry. Finding something in that layout that's like not supposed to be there. We're missing. Oh man, it's starting to hit me. I can finish these wings though. Let's do it. Speed building with saving. thing it doesn't really come down in like a thing, almost as if it goes flat here and then this kind of its own shape doing its own thing. And they just so happen to merge together. So it's like this would actually slope down and then hit. So I have it too high. Then I have to be high to cover it. Or do I? Can I lower this clearance? Because lowering that would make things so much easier. Oh no, I don't know. I'm tired to the point where I can see if I get enough in a lull. I can see my like eyes closing and dozing off. Don't want to do that. I want to finish this thing, but at the same time I want rest. I want sleep for once. Let's go. Wrong one. Boom. Boom, boom. Welcome again, anybody who's just joining us. We're constructing the Commodore from Thor Ragnarok. Commodore belonged to the Grandmaster. Now it belongs to me. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-bum-bum. La-la-la. Ba-da-ba-dee-doo. Mm-hmm. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Interesting. Boom, 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 boom. Interesting. Just close this gap. Nice and easy. Nothing too fancy cakes. I could try eating candy, but Or even have a soda. Then I run the risk of getting a boost of energy after I get off and be like, oh no, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in awake. Stuck in awake mode. You can build space stations. Oh my god, space stations would be so much easier to handle. Auto strut. Auto strut. Oh god, I grabbed something. I do that when you click the menu, but then or yeah, you click the menu, but then you can grab something behind it. And it's not symmetry. Is there anything I constructed there? Looks like there's. Dang it. It's getting so hard to tell. Still think there should be like a color code, non-symmetrical parts. And then you'll get like a highlighted red item. Or something. Something. Interesting. So you have this this ridge that's working its way around from here to here. Based on the profile, that ridge, we need to find some way to eliminate it. Actually, we need to flatten these pieces out. This is a strange one. Mr. Grinch. But yeah, the Air and Space Museum really got me thinking about especially the hands-on kids section that I was in. Trying to diagram lift and vacuums and have little exercises and things you mess with to illustrate forces involved. It's like all I saw was Kerbal parts. But yes. That is how a winglet would look in the dust, in a miniature wind tunnel with dust. I think I was supposed to doing this probably. I was tilting these down as just as gradually as I was bringing them in. Yeah, this is how I was supposed to solve this. Stepping down was going too slow. Jeez. Jeez Louise. Save. Oh, that was the test fly. It saves it though, right? Oh man. There needs to be some auto strutting up there at the top of these arcs to anchor it. Boop. Let's do it, why not? This is with the wing parts that's clipped inside of here. Also, we're going to the grass. So we hit the monolith. Just kidding, I don't want to see what happens if you hit the monolith. I kind of want to see what happens if I hit the monolith. Pull up. Pull up. Okay. Are we too heavy? Need all this for my momentum. We still got engines, we're a boat. We are a boat now. You only go in a circle. I don't know. Okay. I think I actually have to call it. Sorry, I just jumped on basically to attach like, what was our part count? For, I guess attaching them two at a time makes it a lot more in actuality. We're 482. What was our other one at? 362, and I don't think there was much difference. I didn't put that many on, but I can't hang. I had too long of a day today. I really wanted to finish this up, at least aesthetically, so that we can really drill down into the functionality of it. So it looks like I'm gonna have to. It's gonna have to go into next week if we're gonna have to try to finish this, or maybe even the weekend. Maybe I'll do a weekend. Maybe I'll do a weekend stream to compensate. This game is called Kerbal Space Program. It is an early access. I think it's still early access. Where's the game? Store page. It was early access. It was early access for like When I got it, I think it was like $19.99. So it's $39.99 on Steam. If you wait for the... It's been out since 2015, so if you probably wait for the autumn sale to hit it, if you're looking to get it, highly recommend getting it. Made by a developer and publisher, independent developer and publisher squad, but they've been recently acquired by Take-Two Interactive. So maybe that means big things in the future of Kerbal. They have a good modding community. It's kind of a hard game to get your head wrapped around the mechanics of actually building, flying, going into space, having full-fledged concepts of what you want to do, because it's a sandbox game where you make the mission your own mission. Like my mission was to make something from a movie, a prop from a movie. Other people's missions are to do, oh god, legitimate science things, exploring the different worlds that the game has to offer. So, old Restless Brain, thank you for that follow on Mixer. I'll try, we'll see what I'll do tomorrow. I try to mix it up. We've been playing this game all week. I try to mix it up on the Fridays, but we'll see. I kind of feel like I didn't do enough here. So I might be back tomorrow, might be back on the weekends. If I don't see you, have a good weekend. It should actually be on this screen. This is how out of it I am. Thanks for the info. Yeah, sure. And feel free to reach out to other people who play in the game. They're probably way more informative than I am, and they all seem to be friendly. No one's really trying to one-up each other. There's even a community page where you can share your builds, download builds. It's really fun. But that's my time. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can click these thumbnails at the end of the video for day 3 and day 2 of the build. You'll see in these little previews the difference here. We have a smooth flight. This was the last flight of the night. And this was the last flight of day 2. So we had some functionality issues there that we fixed by taking away wing pieces from the front of the craft. Today was just we barely got into it, but what do we learn? Auto strutting. I'm gonna have to wrap my head, I'm gonna have to sleep on the concept, and then wake up with more fresh ideas of how I can incorporate auto strutting for the future builds. But yeah, that's my time. I'll see you guys. Peace out.